Welcome you all to our German course for 10th class students, and this is the course we have created to help them with their board exams. The first topic we are covering in this course is Präteritum, which is in Lektion 7. So first of all, we explain when do we use Präteritum. You have done the sentences in the present tense. For example, ich lerne Deutsch. You have done the Partizip 2, which means ich habe Deutsch gelernt. And then we have the Präteritum, which is ich lernte Deutsch. So what is the difference? So ich habe Deutsch gelernt or ich lernte Deutsch, they both are referring to the past activities. The difference is that Partizip 2 is a form which we use for gesprochene Deutsch, and Präteritum is a form which is used for geschriebene Deutsch, which is meant mostly for the narrations, and this is the form you can see when you are reading Märchen or you are reading texts in historical context. So that is the dominating form over there. That is the use of Präteritum. Another thing is that when we learn German, then there are so many new things we have to learn and we have to remember. For example, the article of every object we have to remember, whether it's a masculine or feminine and neutral. And if you don't remember it, you cannot follow the rules of German language correctly. Here we have also some things we need to remember. For example, we have to remember the Trennbaren verbs, the prefixes, we have to remember the Partizip 2 form of the verbs, and now we have to remember the Präteritum forms of the verbs as well. So here we can bring some rules, or we can have some rules which will make the life easy. For example, we can divide the verbs, the German verbs, which is also valid for the Partizip 2 forms, in schwache Verben and starke Verben. So weak verbs, so to say, are the verbs which follow the rules. For example, the sagen verb, when we conjugate the sagen verb, it follows the rule, it follows all the endings which are there, and there is no change when we conjugate. There is no change in the spelling, in the Stamm of that verb. This verb follows the rule also in Partizip 2. For example, ich sage, ich habe gesagt, G and T. And when we do this in Präteritum, it follows the te rule also in Präteritum, where we are adding extra t and bringing the ending. So the conjugation of sagen in Präteritum form is sagte, wir sagten, du sagtest, ihr sagtet, er sagte. I hope you know in Präteritum, the first person singular and the third person singular has the same conjugation. On the other hand, now we have some verbs which can be defined as strong verbs because they do not follow the rules. They changes their conjugations, spelling when we conjugate them, and also their Partizip 2 form don't follow the G and T rule. Same they do in the Präteritum form also. And these are easy to identify if you remember the Partizip 2 form of the verbs. For example, helfen, the perfect form of the helfen or Partizip 2 form of the helfen is geholfen. So we know that it's not following the GET, which means that in the Präteritum form should also be a different one. The Stamm, the main first word of the verb would be different. So helfen is like half, du halfst, wir halfen, ihr halfst. So these verbs are easy to identify, and because we have quite a number of verbs which follows the rule of gesagt, G and T in Partizip 2, we can remember these verbs, and it makes really the things easy to remember the Präteritum forms of the verbs. That's one rule, when to use and how to remember the Präteritum forms of the verbs. Now, the second important rule is when we say that, okay, Partizip 2 ist gesprochene Deutsch, we make sentences, ich habe zum Beispiel am Wochenende, ich habe Tennis gespielt, ich habe mit meinen Freunden getroffen, ich habe einen Film gesehen, ich habe meine Hausaufgabe gemacht, zum Beispiel. So these are all the gesprochene Deutsch. But there are still some verbs which when we speak also, we prefer to use the Präteritum form of those verbs. Zum Beispiel sein und haben are the two verbs. When we speak, then we say war, we use war, and we use haben instead of ich bin gewesen und ich habe gehabt. These both the verbs, they have their perfect form, they have their Partizip 2 forms, but when we use them, then we say zum Beispiel, ich war in Deutschland am Wochenende. Am letzten Wochenende war ich in Deutschland und ich hatte letztes Jahr ein großes Haus, zum Beispiel. Same is the concept with modal verbs. Modal verbs also have their perfect forms, but when we make sentences in the past references, then we use there also the Präteritumform. Zum Beispiel, ich wollte in Deutschland studieren. Im Jahr 1999 wollte ich in Deutschland studieren. This is the preferred forms of preteritum. Now, explain these three things, which is very important, how to remember the preteritum forms, which are the verbs we still use when we speak preteritum forms, and then when to use preteritum. A good exercise to practice preteritum, please read German versions. These are really good exercises for you. Now I have a Übung for you, which is in der Kindheit. Meine Frage ist, was machten Sie, als Sie Kind waren? Bitte schreiben Sie einige Sätze in Preteritum. Ich habe für Sie hier die Verben geschrieben und Sie müssen jetzt die Regeln benutzen, die wir gerade gelernt haben, zum Beispiel mit Spielen. So we just practice the rule which we have learned. Spielen, ich spiele, du spielst, er spielt, okay. Er hat gespielt, which means it follows the rule, G-E-N-T, the conjugation rules, which means the preteritum of spielen is also spielte. So I can make easy sentence als ich jung war or als ich Kind war. This is the als sentence when I was a child. I hope you know the formulation of the als sentence. Als sentence we make in the past, the things which happened to you once in life. Yeah? Als ich Kind war, spielte ich Fußball, zum Beispiel. This is one sentence. That is easy. Now I take another verb. Zum Beispiel sprechen. Sprechen, ich spreche, du sprichst. Okay, it changes the spelling. And then its perfect form is also, participle form is also gesprochen. Ich habe gesprochen, which means it has a different kind of preteritum form. The preteritum form of sprechen is sprach. So, als ich Kind war, sprach ich ein bisschen Deutsch. This is one sentence. Here, it is easy to identify the verbs and follow the rule. Now, the next one is a sample exercise, normally which comes into the exams. Here, the text is written in the present tense. You have to convert it into preteritum. So, I hope everybody knows that at second position in a sentence, we have a verb. Here, in each sentence, you identify the verb, convert it into preteritum. So, meine Ferien sind super. Das Verb is sind. Und das ist ein Plural, because we have meine Ferien, so meine Ferien waren super. Ich habe viel Spaß, haben, present. Preteritum is hatte, so ich hatte viel Spaß. Ich und meine Freunde machen Camping am Mittelmeer. Machen, again, a present. Gemacht is the perfect form, so that should be machte. Ich und meine Freunde machten Camping am Mittelmeer. Die Gruppe fährt mit dem Bus zum Campingplatz. Fahren ist mein Verb hier in diesem Satz. Und fahren, what is the perfect of fahren? Ist gefahren, gefahren, which means again a different kind of a preteritum. So die Gruppe fuhr mit dem Bus zum Campingplatz. Manchmal spielen wir Tischtennis und Volleyball. Spielen. Again, think about the perfect gespielt. So it's easy. Manchmal spielten wir Tischtennis und Volleyball. Das Wetter ist sehr schön hier. Ist mein Verb. Das Wetter war sehr schön. Jeden Tag lernen wir etwas Neues. Lernen ist mein Verb. Jeden Tag lernten wir etwas Neues. Nach einer Woche wollen wir nach Frankreich fahren. Nach einer Woche wollten wir nach Frankreich fahren. So I want you to do this exercise by calling the participles by thinking of the conjugation. Then you can always remember that these verbs are different. And then it is easy to remember that these are the different ones. Rest, when you remember the participles by form of the verbs, you can follow the preteritum as well. So that was it. If you need more exercises to practice preteritum, please drop us a message on our WhatsApp number and we will provide you the material free of cost. And if you want to practice and do the revision for your exam, please do let us know. We would be happy to provide you further support and help. Wish you all the very best and vielen Dank and happy Deutschland.